and I think it's appropriate based on the fact that Erin is repurposing her life. So in this movement, the New Thought movement, purpose is such a big deal. Folks talk about, oh, I gotta find my purpose, and I've gotta figure out what my purpose is, and there are 151,928 books on Amazon alone that addresses the topic of purpose. What I want to let you know at the get-go is that your admission ticket is already paid. There's nothing required of you to fulfill a purpose. You've won the cosmic lottery. You're the big winner. And just your presence here is quite enough. Before we go any further, I want to tell you a story of someone who has discovered their purpose. And this is an especially weepy day for me, so there you go. I'll just get started right away. A little 6-year-old boy named Jaden Hayes, whose father died when he was 4, and then his mother died like in May or June. So he essentially is an orphan at 6 years old. And his mother just didn't awaken in the morning. And he said he tried and tried to shake her awake. And then he said, everybody dies. You never know. You never know. But here's the thing about Jaden. And that is that he said he was really tired of people being sad. And so he took it upon himself to do something about it. He took on his own purpose to cause people to smile. And so he got his Aunt Barbara, who is his guardian now, to buy him some toys. And he took his toys to downtown Savannah, Georgia, and he looked for people who looked as if they needed to smile. And he gave each one of those people a toy. To date, 500. He has a purpose of 33,000 people to make them smile. His Aunt Barbara said this, that when she bought the toys, that was the beginning of the adventure, she said. And then she said that it looked as if sheer joy came out of that child. And the more people that he made smile, the more the light shone. So, a 6-year-old boy has a purpose to make people smile. Barry Harriman, who was a teacher of mine, he wrote the book Noble Purpose. And he said this, true noble purpose must offer the potential of great benefit for someone other than yourself. So to be in noble purpose, it is a gift to someone besides yourself. And Carlos Castaneda says, does the path have heart? Does the path have heart? Now, there was a TED Talk by Adam Lipsig, who is the CEO of Entertainment Media Partners and an American film and theater producer. And he tells us about going to his Yale graduation annual reunion and seeing people that he graduated with. Graduated from Yale. And he said he was sad to discover that 80% of the people that he graduated with, who seemingly had everything in life, 80% of those people were not happy with their lives. Leaving, of course, 20% of those graduates who appeared to be happy with their life. And those who graduated in that 20% were people who took classes in the humanities, took classes in theater, took classes for the joy of taking classes. And the other 80% took classes in law and got their MBA and all very business oriented. But the 20% who were happy had taken classes for their own joy and their own pleasure. Now this 20% who were happy with their lives reported that the reason that they were happy was because they were doing things for other people. And many of you know that Robert is teaching a class in happiness. And one of the key components of happiness is when you benefit other people. So Adam has these suggestions about those folks that have a purpose beyond themselves. 5 points. First off, they knew who they were. They knew who they were. They were not in alignment with expectations of society or the Society of Yellow Graduates. They walked to their own drummers. The second thing is that they knew what they did, the gifts that they brought to the world. He suggested that to determine what that may be is to ask yourself what you love to do. What do you love to do? Or to ask yourself, what is it that I know so completely and so well that I can teach it to others? So that's the second point. The third point is that they knew who they did it for. Who benefits from their gifts, their talents, their abilities, their purpose. That's the third point. And the fourth is, they knew what other people wanted or needed. Not what they wanted, not what they needed, but what the other people wanted or needed. And the fifth was, how did those other people gain or change from their gift? Barry Heerman talks about a shoe shine man in India who polished shoes with enormous attention, took time with each stitch, polished, and even the soles of the shoes were polished and waxed and beautiful. So someone asked him, why do you give so much attention to shining shoes? And the shoe shine man answered, I give each shoe attention because it gets my son closer and closer to college. He wasn't shining shoes for shining shoes, but for a grander purpose of gaining income to send his son to college. So he knew who he was a shoe shine man. And he knew what he could do. He could shine shoes. And he knew who he was doing it for, his son. And he knew why and how that son would benefit by going to college. So we do what we do, our purpose, for other people. You notice that the Adam's 5 points, only 2 of them are about ourselves. We know who we are, and we know what we do. The other 3 points are stepping outside of ourselves and giving ourselves to other people. And that is one of the most primary, the most potent keys for a happy life. So, I suspect that all of you have at one time or another considered your purpose. But just like our body changes, every 7 years we turn over and we get a new body, it's always a good idea to take a look at our lives and perhaps repurpose them. Not because you owe it to the divine, not because you owe it to the universe, but because of a very selfish reason. It makes you happy. It makes you happy to make other people happy. Aaron has made us all happy. I love you. I love you. Namaste. So, well, the practitioners stand and me as we say our final prayer. I invite you to join with me as I open my heart to that universal essence that has given me life, that has given each one of us life. That universal presence that so lovingly fulfilled its purpose of creativity through each one of us. I allow myself to sit in the warmth and the embrace of that divine essence. And when I truly am present with that one creative source, I absolutely know beyond doubt that all is well. When I allow myself to sit in the presence, I know that life is unfolding in just the perfect way, the perfect manner, and I am so grateful. And so today, as we celebrate Erin, absolutely knowing her life is unfolding in perfection. It cannot be otherwise. So with gratitude, with joy, and with love, I get my own selfish sadness out of the way. I claim good. I celebrate good. And I invite you to own it with me as we own it for everything, everyone, by saying, and so it is, and amen. Thank you.
say.